Hi guys, welcome back for another fight card prediction. We're going to be breaking down UFC 201 from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, the great state of Georgia, as the welterweight title is on the line. As Ruthless Robbie Lawler faces off against Tyron Woodley in a pretty decent scrap for the belt there, with some really good fights kind of scattered throughout the card. I think this is definitely the kind of weakest looking pay-per-view in this we've had this year, but when you've got Robbie Lawler, I think my man Best Fight Picks, Dan Levy, has been saying when you've got people, Robbie Lawler, Matt Brown, Scoggins, Krylov, you're going to have a fun night there. Fully expect that here. Go follow the guys down below me who make video predictions, podcasts, interviews, you name it. Come follow me on Twitter, Will Martin MMA, and we can talk fights there. And if you can, please like, share, and subscribe if you can. And let me know your picks. I want to know your picks for the card. I've got a couple of bets already made for this card. I will tell you throughout this here. I will put my DraftKings team at the bottom and my most confident picks as well. So let's get straight into this one. We're going to start in the lightweight division. We have Cesar Arzamendia against Damian Brown. Whoa, this is not the greatest fight you're ever likely to see. Arzamendia, he lost last time out to Marco Polo Reis. Damian Brown lost out to Alan Patrick. He did get dominated a little bit down in Brazil in that one, but he kept himself in it. He showed a lot of heart, grit, determination, kept himself in it. But Patrick was just a little bit kind of too well rounded. I think Damian Brown's got a 15-9 record fighting out of Australia. Just a kind of consummate professional. Doesn't really stand out in any one facet of the game. He's prone to get the fight to the ground for submissions. I think Arzamendia's the same there. In his fight with Marco Polo Reis, he got the takedown, but Polo Reis used some nice kind of nice work on the ground to get himself back to the feet, where he had the clear advantage with the striking and capitalising this and got a round one knockout there. How do I see this fight going? This is a coin flip. It's hard to really pick between these two guys. I'm going to go with experience. I think he can keep himself in the fight longer, and the more chance he does that, I think the more he can get dominant positions if it goes to the ground, because I think that's what he'll be looking to do, is take it down. I think Arzamendia is still pretty green down there. My pick's going to be Damian Brown. Not confident in that pick whatsoever. It'll be by decision. Moving on, flyweight division, Benoit, I should say, against Fredy Serrano. Benoit, I keep saying that. Got knocked out last time by Benoit. Before that, he knocked out Sergio Pettis, but in that first round, Sergio Pettis was piecing him up. So he's coming in here off that loss to Benoit, where he got starched down in Australia very, very quickly. He was just, Benoit hits too hard and was far too fast for him there. Fredy Serrano, I think he's won a couple of fights in the UFC. He beat the Chinese guy, I cannot remember his name. Beat Bentley Seiler. I think he injured his arm in the first round in his last fights. He's only like 3-0. He was on the Ultimate Fighter Latino America show there. Fought in the Olympics for Colombia. Wrestling wise, got some big power in there. Got some nice shots. Whether he can do that against someone as kind of experienced as Benoit here, because Benoit's a lot of experience, and Serrano, I know he's got a lot of grappling experience and such, but he hasn't got a lot of MMA experience, with only probably a handful of fights altogether, amateur and professional as well. He has got those wrestling chops though, and I think he will come out strong, but I think he's got a gas tank. He's quite old, if I remember right as well. I looked at his stats earlier on. Not a big guy, but he does gas out quite a bit. I think what I'm trying to say is he's biggish for flyweight, but he gasses out very quickly, where I think Benoit could probably go the full 3 rounds fairly easily and keep that pace going. I don't think Fredy Serrano can keep that. He's going to look to put this fight against the cage and then just look for a takedown. He's probably looking to blanket Benoit here, but I think Benoit's got enough chops about him to possibly get back to his feet, keep it on his feet. Definitely has the striking advantage. He maybe doesn't have the power advantage per se. He does throw out a nice clean right hook, but I think Serrano's gas tank is going to let him down in this one. I think this is when Benoit comes through, uses that kind of more cage experience against good fighters as well. He's fought against bigger guys as well. My pick's going to be Ryan Benoit. I think he could finish this fight, Pearson. I think round number 3, it could be kind of a tough fight for Serrano here, but I'm going to go flyweight fights usually always go to decision, so I'm going to go Ryan Benoit via decision. Really good fight, looking forward to this one. Michael Graves against Bojan Velickovic. Velickovic, he was the former RFA champion, big welterweight, huge guy, like 6'3", very wide, throws some wild strikes. So he's got some really big leg kicks, but I think his game is clinch work and taking you down there, because I mean he is a big unit for 170, a really big guy, and he uses that down there to kind of take him to the ground and kind of look for submissions from down there. Pretty good against the cage as well, throw some nice strikes to the body, but he's looking to get this fight to the ground, and I think Michael Graves is a really good opponent in this time for him, because he's coming in, he faced Velickovic faced Alessio Di Chirico, who I thought was a really good fight back in Croatia, and Di Chirico definitely improved from the footage that I seen before and gave him a good fight. Still lost the fight, looking forward to seeing him in August in the Vancouver card, but that was a nice one. I think that might turn out to be a nice win for many years, a few years down the line, because I think Di Chirico can move forward, but he's all around a solid fighter. Uses the jab fairly well. As I said, fighting Michael Graves here, who since the tough show I think he's kind of went on leaps and bounds. Fought out American top team. I believe he fights out of Knuckle Up in Georgia, in Atlanta. So he will have some support from the crowd there, from people that he trains with, or if he stays there now, he's going to be recognised a little bit more, so he will have the support there. I really liked him last time. I know he's against Randy Brown, who's still really green. I like Michael Graves in this one. This would be a big win for him, because Velickovic is a decent fighter. He's a solid all-round fighter. I mean, he's got a great gas tank as well. Trains out of Elevation Fight Team in Colorado. I see this being a very close fight. I can see Velickovic maybe taking a round off Michael Graves here, but Graves is really good once he gets to the ground, and he found that submission against Randy Brown. Do I think he can submit Velickovic here? I think he could in the right position. I don't think he will. I'm going to edge Michael Graves very closely. I can see this being a split decision. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Velickovic got this win here, but I'm definitely confident in Michael Graves. I like his skill level. I like the progression that he seems to be making. He looks better at every fight as well. My pick's going to be Michael Graves via a very close split decision. Flyweight division, Wilson Hayes against Hector Sandoval. Now, I'm a little bit interested in this fight for the simple reason I think Hector Sandoval actually has a chance. I'm putting this out there. I don't think too many people will probably know who Hector Sandoval is. Maybe the hardcores out there might know a little bit. I know him through Team Alpha Male. He fought out there, fought in the West Coast quite a bit. Tashi Palace was where I was first introduced to him. He got knocked out by a former UFC flyweight in Willie Gates. But I think he's a really good fighter, and I think he could pose Wilson Hayes. And now I know this is Wilson Hayes, who was fighting for a title against probably the pound for pound. He is the pound for pound best fighter in the world in Demetrius Johnson. But I think Hector Sandoval can give Wilson Hayes problems. From the footage that I've seen of Sandoval that I've watched in the past, leads with a nice kind of left shot and comes with that big right. He does crack, so that's something you have to watch out for. Wilson Hayes has shown chin issues in the past. Joby Sanchez caught that chin and gave him some trouble there. The one thing that I think that Wilson Hayes has in his back pocket, which is a clear advantage in this, is his jiu-jitsu. Hector Sandoval, I'm not too sure how he is off his back. I think he's got enough to get back to his feet, but Wilson Hayes is a predominant grappler. He's a really good grappler. Very patient once it goes down there. Looks for his submissions. It's just a little bit of a blanket for that flyweight division. But I think Sandoval has a chance in this one. Wilson Hayes, he must have been. I think there's interviews that come out saying that he's really disappointed, and his kind of training's kind of tailed off now. Not that he's not fighting for a title, and that's to be expected because you were having the biggest fight of your life, probably your biggest pay packet of your life, and that gets taken away, so the motivation kind of decreases. And as I say, that chin, he's had a chin issue in the UFC before, and Sandoval does crack. The last hour ago, I was put on Twitter that I think I might pick Hector Sandoval. I think he's like a plus 300 dog, and I might be tempted to throw a half unit on this guy. He's plus 250 at the minute. If that hits 300, I think it would be pretty remiss of me not to maybe take a shot in Hector Sandoval. Something I don't usually do, but I really think Sandoval has a chance. Do I pick him here? No, I'm going to go stick with Wilson Hayes. I think he does get cracked, I think he does get hurt, but I think he does enough. That veteran experience keeps him in the fight, gets him to that final bell where he wins via decision. But I can see Sandoval giving him problems. I could be completely wrong with that one, but I think just got a feeling with that one. Wilson Hayes will be my pick via decision. Moving on to the heavyweight division, we have Anthony Freight Train Hamilton against Damian Grabowski. I really don't like watching Anthony Hamilton fight. I think he's just... I don't think he's a good fighter, personally. He had that fight with Daniel Omilanchuk where it was just a slop fest. I can see this fight being like that a little bit there. I said after that fight with Daniel Omilanchuk that I'm going to fade him in every fight, and I'm going to do so here. Damian Grabowski came into UFC, fought Derek Lewis, and just got put to sleep with a big shot by Derek Lewis, who could do that to pretty much every heavyweight if he wanted to. Hamilton, I know he came off that loss to Shamil Abdurrahimov, where he kind of got just demolished everywhere, didn't look good everywhere, and Abdurrahimov, when he got him to the ground, kind of stifled him down there and just peppered him with shots. Grabowski, I think Grabowski's going to finish Anthony Hamilton here. I really do. I think that he's going to leave a neck or a limb out there, and Grabowski, once he gets down there, is going to find it and submit him. He is a submission guy. I'm going to go Damian Grabowski from the first finish of the night via submission in round number 2. Hamilton gasses really badly. I'm sure I haven't really seen... I've seen 3 or 4 fights of Grabowski. Did finish it quite early, so I haven't seen him kind of go into your second rounds. I'm sure he gasses a bit, but I just like him in this fight. I'm going to continue to fade Anthony Hamilton. I'm going to go Damian Grabowski via submission in round number 2. I just not a fan of Anthony Hamilton. Much respect to the guy for kind of fighting in that heavyweight division, because it is a shark's tank in there with some of the guys that are fucking massive. So, but my pick's going to be Damian Grabowski in this one. Submission round 2. Welterweight division. Ross Pearson against Jorge Masvidal. First and foremost, don't really like Ross Pearson at welterweight, and especially considering he fought like 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago on the International Fight Week, and I don't see his kind of logic with this one. I know he probably came out unscathed against Will Brooks. Actually, to be fair to the guy, he gave himself a good account of himself against Will Brooks. I know he came in short notice, but made it a fight, made it very, very interesting. He kind of trades wins and losses, but I just don't like this fight so soon and going up a weight class. I mean, he's only like 5'8". He's not a big guy whatsoever. But saying that, he's facing a guy who always seems to kind of lose decisions. But Jorge Masvidal is a fighter I love watching. Very technical. His fight with Lawrence Larkin was just spectacular. Great striking from both guys. Came out in another split decision. I thought Larkin won that fight all day long. And he lost to Benson Henderson. I think Ali Akinta was another one. So if this goes to decision, your backside might be twitching a little bit. So, but I think he can clearly win 2 rounds off Ross Pearson. I think he's the better technical striker. All around, he's probably a better fighter, I would say. Pearson does put good combinations together. The threat of him getting taken down is still there, I think, from the Evan Dunham fight. Will Brooks fights at the same camp as Masvidal, so I'm sure he gave him some pointers there. I don't feel confident picking Ross Pearson. I have to go Jorge Masvidal, unanimous decision. And the number 1 fight for the prelims, before we head into the main card, we have Ed Shortfuse Herman against Nikita Krylov. Now, I love watching Nikita Krylov fight because you're pretty much a guaranteed finish. His last 4 fights in the UFC have all been finished with inside. I think the last one was the second round. The last 3 before that were in the first round. And the guy is just kind of a wild fighter to watch because you don't know what's coming. He leaves holes everywhere, so he can be got at. And someone like a veteran like Ed Herman can definitely capitalise on those opportunities that Krylov will present him, because he is just wild and he leaves shit open all the time. And someone like Herman can jump on that. I think people that are maybe going to place some money in Ed Herman, I don't think it's a bad bet personally. I know that Krylov, the line's quite close at the minute. He's a 135 underdog right now is Herman, and the comeback in that is 155 for Nikita Krylov. Krylov is pretty dangerous everywhere. On the feet he can strike, down in the ground he can catch you with chokes and stuff like that as well. Ed Herman last time out against Tim Boach looked fantastic on his venture up to 205. He stayed there. This is a legit test for Nikita Krylov here, but I just think it's kind of two ways of looking at it. I think Krylov could come out and totally run through him a little bit. He could catch him with a shot and put him to sleep, just the way Krylov does things. But I think that Ed Herman definitely has a chance in this fight. I've been contemplating betting Nikita Krylov in this one. I think it was I can't remember, it was a bet I was putting him with someone, but I think I'm going to just stay clear of this fight because I think Herman has a chance. My official pick will be Nikita Krylov. I'm going to go via TKO in round number 2, gets him to the ground and kind of gets in advantageous position and then knocks him out via strikes. If it goes into later, like the third round, that may favour kind of Ed Herman. I know that both guys will maybe be a bit gassy by then. I think Ed Herman has a chance. If you're looking for an underdog to bet, if this gets to 150, which it could well do, maybe even higher between now and Saturday, it's not a bad bet. My pick's going to be Nikita Krylov via TKO in round number 2, but I think I may pick Ed Herman on Toutmaster, the competition I'm in there, because I think he could be a good dog pick this week. So, moving on to the main card, we have in the flyweight division Ian McCall against Justin Scoggins. Justin Tank Scoggins. Ian McCall, there has been talks, I've seen him say it himself, that he is looking that he could retire. When you have those retirement talks, I hate that. I do not like when fighters who are still pretty much, you could say they're in the prime a little bit, I know he's been around a long time, saying that they could hang up the gloves. I don't like that, and I think injuries are really catching up with Uncle Creepy here. I heard yesterday that he cannot close his fist. Now, I know that's an ongoing thing. I've seen it in Dublin with Monai's. He's had, I think, a hamstring problem as well in one of his legs. That's not great against someone, Justin Scoggins, who is light on his feet, a really good striker, and he showed last time out against Ray Borg that he's got those skills to take good grapplers and jiu-jitsu guys down there and have enough to stay with them down there. If this was 2-3 years ago, my pick, I think 100% would be Ian McCall when he was healthy, and when he came into the UFC, look, that fight with Demetrius Johnson was a really fun fight and give Demetrius all he could. Smart pick here has to be Justin Scoggins. I was really impressed by his performance against Ray Borg, and I think something's maybe clicked up there where he's going to maybe make a run for this flyweight title and put himself in contention at least. I think it's about 18 months that Ian McCall's been out as well. Who did he lose to? John Lineker. He lost to John Lineker last time out. Beat Brad Pickett in London, or Dublin, sorry, I should say. And then I think it was Eliade Santos he beat before that. Just can't pick him here. I think Justin Scoggins has got everything to kind of lose in this fight. McCall, when I hear fighters talking about retirement, possibly having injuries, it's hard to really pick that guy. I was looking at putting Justin Scoggins in a 2-man parlay, a double with who was it? Robbie Lawler, I believe it was, and it came out to plus money. Could be wrong on that one. My pick's going to be Justin Scoggins. I think the toughness of Ian McCall will come through. He'll stay in the fight. Justin Scoggins decision. Bantamweight division. Here's a bet I'm putting on here. Francisco Rivera against Erik Goito Perez. Good fight, really good fight. I like watching Francisco Rivera. I thought he was a little bit unlucky personally against Brad Pickett. I think he could have got the decision in that one. He's had some kind of bad shit come his way with the Uriah Faber loss. He was winning that fight and then got poked in the eye and got stopped in that one. We had the fight with John Lineker where he came out and just, that's bad fight IQ, what he did with John Lineker there. Come out, started throwing hands with probably the biggest hitter at 125, 135 there is, and got cracked, put down there, and then was choked out. Last time I say Brad Pickett, just, that was a fight I think he could have got personally. It was one of those 50-50 fights. Hometown decision, probably one for Brad Pickett. But I do like watching him fight. But he has lost 4 of his last 5 against good opponents, don't say. Pickett, Lineker, Faber, Misugaki, with that win in there with against Alex Caceres was a very, very quick one via knockout. Erik Perez coming off that win over Taylor Lapilus in Mexico last time. Good to see him back on the winning trail because he's a fun fighter to watch. I do believe that he's moved gyms now. He's in San Diego at Alliance, not at Jackson's anymore. He's trading wins and losses himself, so this is a big fight to get himself stable and on that kind of winning streak where he continuously keeps on winning. Lost to Misagaki, lost to beat Figueroa, then he lost to Caraway. So those two losses are not bad losses. And Lapilus is a guy I think he's a pretty decent fighter myself. So I credit that as a really good win. Okay, I am betting Francisco Rivera in this one. I got Cisco at plus 112. Looking at this card, there's not too many dogs that jump out, and I should have kept it a little bit, and maybe the line would have got bigger. But I jumped on it, put 1 unit on there. So that's one of my bets that I've already got posted for UFC 201. I just think that on the feet, he can definitely keep it. He can have the advantage here as long as he doesn't come out swinging stupidly. Perez has been kind of dropped by lesser strikers in the past. I just like him in this one. I think he's got some wrestling chops there. He can maybe stop the takedown and he can just keep it close. I do think it'll be a close fight nonetheless. I think both guys are fairly evenly matched here. But I feel more confident picking Francisco Rivera. I feel more confident betting him here. So my pick will be Francisco Rivera via decision. I think that could be a fight of the night one as well if it gets off to a very quick start. But my pick will be Rivera. I bet on there plus 112 by decision. Welterweight division. Matt Brown against Jake Ellenberger. Don't know what Jake Ellenberger did here to get this matchup, because Matt Brown is just an all-out fucking savage, and he's coming off a fight where he really didn't take too much damage against Damian Maia, getting back in there quick after his loss at UFC 198. Jake Ellenberger lost his last 2, got knocked out. He just did not look good against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That was maybe, I think he did drop him in that one if I remember right, just slightly, but got knocked out in that one and then kind of got pieced up by Tariq Saffiedine, who can do that with anybody as well. And then he gets Matt Brown. Ooh, that's not nice. I think you know where I'm going with this one. Matt Brown, he's just his toughness, his heart, his come forward, bite down the mouthpiece, beat the living shit out of you, is something actually to behold. I've seen that at 189 when I was there. I picked Tim Means, but when you see him in the cage, you're like, oh shit, there's just fighters you can see and like, this guy's nasty, and he can literally turn it on in a second and get in there. I love watching that guy fight. It's a savage. My pick's going to be Matt Brown. I think he's going to come out, rush at Jake Ellenberger, not too much because he will get taken down if he doesn't watch what he's doing, but I think he's going to get a position where he's going to just be able to unload on Jake Ellenberger and stop him here. One of my most confident picks, it has to be my most confident pick of the night, and he's part of one of the bets I have in here as well, which I will go on when I get to the main event. Matt Brown, TKO round number 1 for myself there. Co-main event, women's strawweight division. Really love this fight. Thug Rose Namajunas against Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And I see people disregarding Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and I think that's a bad idea. Really do. I think it's a bad idea. I think in women's MMA, you bet, most of the time you should bet underdogs. Did it last week. I bet 1 unit to get plus 340 back on Valentina Shevchenko. A lot of the fights with the women are very, very closely matched up, I believe. And I think she has a shot this week. Whether I bet her is another thing. She is, at the minute, she is plus 200. Plus 200. If that goes higher, 220 maybe, again, I'm going to have to take the shot on her because I think that she's definitely got a chance to win this fight. But let's start talking about these fighters. Rose Namajunas, I think she's one of the most well-rounded fighters in the all of women's fighting. I think she's very good on the feet. She's got really good striking, like really good leg strikes, which is something that Kowalkiewicz hasn't had. She has good leg kicks, but overall the striking game of Rose Namajunas is pretty deadly. Good striking with the feet, with the hands, and it's accentuated even more with the feet. So she's all around a kind of dangerous fighter. Throws spinning kicks as well. When she goes to the ground, we've seen against Paige Van Zandt, she got down there and she really beat Paige Van Zandt up down there. Was a blanket, was on her back, was moving to advantageous positions, and just beating the holy shit out of Paige Van Zandt. Then she beat Tecia Torres. Very close fight. I thought Torres had a squeak of a chance here of an upset when I was watching it. I watched it again. I still think she was very close to winning that when she hit Thug Rose with a lot of leg kicks, which really took effect on her and stopped some of the takedowns. Did get taken down a little, but just a really good fighter. And since that loss to Carla Esparza, she's been going up level after level, and you've been seeing it. She's beat tough girls. Angela Hill's a champion in Invicta. Van Zandt, say what you want about her, the girl's tough. Got the finish there in round number 5. Kept on going. And Tecia Torres is another top girl who I think beat Rose in the past. So, good fighter. Very good fighter. And I think she wins this fight. I think the winner of this fight basically fights Joanna Jędrzejczyk anyway. Karolina Kowalkiewicz. We last seen her in Rotterdam against Heather Jo Clark, and she pieced. She really did beat up Clark pretty convincingly and really busted her up. Her technical striking is so nice to watch. I mean, her footwork's very good as well. She pivots really nicely. As I say, doesn't throw an awful lot of kicks to the body. It goes up high, but her leg kicks are very good. Something she could use in this one. But her striking is legit. But her all-around game, we haven't really seen too much. We've seen a little bit against Randa Marcos, where she kind of stopped the takedown. Marcos kind of tried to put her against the cage, suckled off well, hit some nice shots, get back to the centre again. A lot of people are really counting out Karolina Kowalkiewicz here, and I think personally she has a really good chance of winning this fight. But say if the line gets higher on Kowalkiewicz, I will bet her. Keep an eye on my Twitter and you will see if I bet her or not. If it hits that 220, I'm going to take a shot on her. But it's really hard to pick against Rose Namajunas right now. But I think this is a very close fight. I'm going between the two girls here, and I'm finding it really tough to pick. It's hard picking against Rose because she's so well rounded. She's getting better every fight. But Kowalkiewicz, I think, is just really underestimated by a lot of people. People saying that she's going to get blown out of the water in this fight, and that could happen. Just don't see it. Pick's going to be a split decision win for Rose Namajunas. I've decided I'm going to go with that one. Will pick Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Toutmaster. And moving on to the main event, Ruthless Robbie Lawler against Tyron Woodley. Right, I'm going to get one thing out of the way kind of straight away here. I hate the fact, I'm actually quite like Tyron Woodley. I hate the fact that this guy has sat out so long and is getting a title shot. Just my personal preference. The guy has not fought since, was it Kelvin Gastelum, and he lost like Gastelum like didn't weigh in for that when he was like 10 pounds overweight. That was his last fight. That was January 31st, 2015. Literally 18 months. This guy's fought 2 times in literally 2 years and is getting a title shot. Now I know he beat Dong Young Kim, a legit prospect in there. Gastelum's a guy who's moving his way up the ranks, but this guy's lost. I mean, he beat Carlos Condit. Can't take away from it. Just thinking of that there. Beat Carlos Condit. He's the top guy in that division. Lost to Rory McDonald pretty convincingly. Just don't like the fact that he sat out so long. But he is a very scary fighter, and he's a very tough fight for Robbie Lawler here. Hits hard, kind of plants those feet, throws big nasty strikes, got the wrestling there. These guys have probably trained each other quite a bit because they are American Top Team are kind of affiliates in some way. I actually really like this fight, but I really like this fight for Robbie Lawler because I think he can stop the takedown, and Robbie Lawler is one of the funnest guys. Bob Lawler is one of the funnest guys you can ever watch fight because I don't think there's a tougher guy in the UFC than this guy. This guy's heart and mentality to come forward, get beat up, but he will put a beating on you, and he's not going to give up no matter how long and how far into the fight this is. The 5th round against Carlos Condit, I personally scored the fight for Carlos Condit. A lot of people see it differently. It's one of those 50-50 fights. You can't begrudge the judges giving it to Robbie Lawler. But he came out in that 5th round and he put on that pressure on Carlos Condit, and that's just straight up savage, in your face. I'm not going fucking anywhere. I'm going to be right in your face, and I will go for another 5 rounds and beat your fucking ass if we want to take it there. And that is something, and I've seen it at 189 with McDonald in that fight, and it sticks. I think about that fight every day of my life. Seeing that was just unbelievable, and it is hard to really pick against him here, but I think he can negate Tyron Woodley enough. And Woodley, I don't think he's got 5 rounds in him personally. I hope he has, because it can make for a very interesting fight if it does. Because Lawler in that 5th round, he's just a fucking zombie, savage. Johnny Hendricks was there and just wanted to keep on going. Condit the same. Rory McDonald at the end of the 4th is like they're staring at each other. Tyron Woodley, I think, can gas out after round number 2, and that's where Robbie Lawler can really take on Tyron Woodley and beat him here. And I think he will. I think he'll TKO him. Maybe late round 3. I'm going to go round number 4 personally myself, and he will retain his title and still be the welterweight champion. So that is my fight picks for UFC 201. I want to say enjoy the card to Dan Levy and all the boys who are going out there in ATL. A fun card for you guys. I'll be back for the Yair Rodriguez against Alex Caceres card from Salt Lake City. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell me your picks down below, down at the bottom. Follow all the good guys down below me that I'll put in the drop down box. And I will see you for that card very, very soon. Take care. Enjoy the fights when they come round.